Welcome back, and thanks for watching. I know it's been a while since I made my last video, but I'm back now, so let's get right into it. I found an article from The Root which is very much in favor of profiling people. Seems like something you wouldn't want to be proud to admit, but the author seems quite proud. He starts by saying his favorite pastime is just staying alive, and then makes the overgeneralization that Trump supporters are all racist. But the bulk of the article, like the name suggests, is 10 not racist at all things white people do that make me think, yep, he's probably racist. But to make it fun, I'm going to treat this like a quiz and see how many points I can score. If I get a score of 10, then I guess that makes me a stereotypical racist. Keep in mind that it doesn't actually prove I'm racist, just that I look and act like a racist according to the author of this article. And if I get a low score, then I'm 100% racial collectivist approved white guy. So either way, it's a lose-lose situation. So let's begin. Number 1 is overly patriotic. The article then goes on to explain that the more American flags you own, the more racist you are, which makes no sense to me. I thought the number of Confederate flags would be a much better indicator. But to be honest, it doesn't make a difference to me. I don't actually own an American flag, or clothes with the American flag, or anything with the American flag on it. In fact, I don't think I even own any kind of flag. I have a map of Westeros, but that's a poster, a map, not a flag, so that doesn't really count. Aside from this, I don't think I'm all that patriotic. I don't really care if people burn the flag in protest. I think it's their First Amendment right, and I don't feel special or patriotic about America. But I do think that Enlightenment values, in particular the importance of individualism, is one of the things that has made America so free and such a great place to live. And I do think it's a great place to live, because if it wasn't, no one would want to come here, and many more people would be happy to move to countries like Canada and Mexico. That doesn't make America perfect by any means, but comparatively, the country has a lot of benefits. On top of this, I don't think there's anything special about being born in the United States, but we need a government, and the point of the government is to protect the people and uphold the social contract. So if the government is helping non-citizens at the expense of citizens, then the social contract is not being upheld, and there's no reason for those negatively impacted to participate in such a society. Government's important, but no government is better than an oppressive authoritarian state. So I wouldn't consider myself to be very patriotic, so I guess no points for this one. Number 2, drives a pickup truck. And then I love this follow-up. Ironically, I love pickup trucks. Of course you do. Well, it turns out that I don't like pickup trucks. I don't have one, I've never driven one, I've never wanted one. But you see, this is why stereotyping fails, because individuals are too complex to be broken down into little boxes. Even if you try and intersect those boxes into many more boxes, you just won't get there until you have a box for every single person. But that's beside the point. Anyways, still no point for me. Number 3. Wears any sort of camo. Any sort of camo? So the entire armed forces are all racist? I guess that also means hunting makes you racist. Well, guess what? I'm too much of a scared piece of shit to join the military, and I never had a desire to kill animals, so I've never been hunting either. But I don't own any camo, so I guess that means I still have 0 racist points. I may be a shitty person, but so far, this random guy on the internet has no reason to stereotype me as a racist. And really, that's all that matters these days, right? Number 4, loves dogs. Are you fucking kidding me? Everybody loves dogs. It's not racist to love dogs. Only monsters and garbage humans don't love dogs. It has nothing to do with race. Dogs are man's best friend. But, to be honest, I don't really love dogs. I don't even like cleaning up after myself, so cleaning up someone else's shit just isn't worth it for me. Not to mention, all the hair most dogs shed drives me crazy. But don't get me wrong, I don't hate dogs. Okay, maybe I kinda hate dogs, but it's okay because I hate cats much more. So still, 0 points. I think that's 2 points for being a shitty person, but 0 racist points. Number 5, loves sports but hates the NBA. So next time someone calls you a racist, just tell them that you love the NBA. That should clear everything up right away. But the real question is, what happens if you like the WNBA? Does that prove that you're not a misogynist? Do you often beat your wife? Do the neighbors often complain that they hear fighting and confront you about it? Well, have no fear. Next time, just tell them you're a huge fan of the WNBA, and that should get them off your back right quick. Make sure you learn a few random facts about women's basketball, though, just in case they want to test you. The NBA, sponsored by the Quran. The Quran, where women are only worth half as much as men. No, but all jokes aside, I'm not really much of a sports fan at all. I mean, I watch the Super Bowl sometimes, and yeah, I enjoy it when I watch it, but I never really care enough to watch any other time. And my city has an NBA team, but I don't watch that either. So I spend too much time watching movies and playing video games to really have much interest in sports. So I guess that still leaves me with 0 points. Number 6, hunts. Well, this goes along with the Camo one, and as I said, I don't hunt, so still no points here. Number 7, regularly eats at Cracker Barrel. Once again, we have another situation where the author admits they actually love to do this thing, and once again, it's something that I've never done. I've heard of Cracker Barrel, but I didn't even realize it was a restaurant. I kind of thought it was like a store that sells crackers and probably like cheese and meat or salami or whatever, or something like that. And when I say it out loud, it sounds really stupid, but then again, so does a restaurant called Cracker Barrel. Either way, I've never been there, so again, 0 points. Number 8, watches Sons of Anarchy. Well, I don't watch Sons of Anarchy, but I did watch it when it was still a current show. The author admits that he's never seen a minute of the show, and when I first heard about it, I had no interest in it either, but after hearing good things about it, I eventually watched it before the final season aired, and I definitely enjoyed it. It's been a while since I've seen it, but if I remember correctly, the best part of the show was the season 3 finale, and then it just kind of went downhill until the very end. But like I said, it's been a while, so I don't entirely remember. Anyway, I guess that finally means I get 1 point. Number 9, live somewhere with no immediate neighbors. I live in an apartment complex in the city, so I have several immediate neighbors. So immediate that if I punch a hole in the wall, I'd be inside their home, so gonna have to say no points here either. And finally, number 10, has a strong as fuck regional accent. What about Australians? They generally have a strong regional accent. Or by regional, do you mean like only within the United States? I guess that's probably it, unless the author thinks all Australians are out to get him. Either way, do I have a strong regional accent? I don't know. I would like to think I don't, but maybe I do, I guess. He follows it up by saying, if you're white and don't enunciate consonants, well, I think I do that just fine, so I guess I'm going to say no point here either. So that leaves me with a grand total of 1. So I guess I do one thing that this guy knows isn't actually racist, but yet still makes him stereotype white people as if they were racist. Alright, so I only got 1 point, but I got 2 points on the being a shitty person counter. But this article wasn't really meant to be a quiz, so let's do a bonus round. I'm going to take one of those implicit bias tests and see what happens. The test is fairly boring, so I'm just going to speed up the video and get through it and get to the results. The thing to keep in mind about these tests is that they're far from perfect. The test is fairly short, so making a simple mistake can give you a vastly different result than had you not made that simple mistake. Of course, if your job is to make split-second life or death decisions, then I guess maybe not making such a mistake would be important. But for a test to determine implicit racial preference, it's problematic, as evidenced by the fact that the test takers can have vastly different results each time they take the test. Due to this and other limitations, the test is considered by many to be unreliable. So ultimately, the results will be just about as useful as the results of that game that I made up from that article. So, what were the results? Well, this is the first and only time I've taken one of these tests so far, and my results were a slight preference for African Americans over European Americans. Well, there you have it. Scientific proof I'm not a racist. Can't argue with those results. No, but seriously, this test doesn't really prove anything. My guess is that I made 1 or 2 more mistakes in the later round, which is hardly enough to prove anything except that I sometimes make mistakes when it comes to this weird sorting of faces and adjectives. If there's only 20 questions and I missed 2 one of the times and 3 another, is that even statistically significant? Or is it possible that I messed up about 10% plus or minus a question or two each time, and therefore the results should be statistically speaking the same? The fact is, I don't know how they calculate the results, so I don't really know. But if I had to guess, I would say the difference was probably due to human error on my part, just plain old messing up a few times, rather than any actual measurable bias, but what do I know? Maybe I just hate white people a little bit and I just didn't know it. Either way, it doesn't really matter because I almost never have to make split-second decisions that impact others in extremely meaningful ways. Most of the time, I have the chance to think about what I'm doing and act accordingly, which allows for treating others as individuals and ultimately allows for treating everyone as equals until they've done something worth treating them differently for. Whether that be treating them more favorable because they've proven themselves as good, worthy through their actions, or unfavorable treatment, such as how we treat criminals or rude people. So, in conclusion, racial collectivism and profiling is not only stupid, but tends to lead to incorrect conclusions. But that doesn't stop some people from labeling everything racist while simultaneously proudly and openly profiling others.